Hello everyone, just going to go through some things that will help you do these questions on your CAS calculator for Pythagoras and trigonometry. A couple of little things you want to check out first before we even start having a go at the questions. Firstly, from your home screen, just click into your settings and make sure that when you click into settings and go to document settings, sometimes this angle function here is not on the right thing. We need it in degrees for this because we're working with angles. So that's the first thing I want you to check, is that your CAS settings are in degrees. So again, from the home screen, click into settings, go to document settings and check that this angle feature here is selected into degree, and make sure you change it into that if it isn't. All right, we're going to have a look at a few questions now. So Pythagoras, the first question off slide 2 that I'll share with you today is finding out the length of the hypotenuse, or the longest side. So the formula for that we're going to do is control, press this button here to get our little square root symbol up, and we're doing the square root of 2 squared, so use your squared button there, plus 3 squared to find out the length. Now, if it gives you this answer that's not a decimal, we just go control enter, and you'll get 3.6 as a answer to 1 decimal place. All right, the other example I'll show you is when we're using the hypotenuse to find out one of the shorter sides. Now, it doesn't matter if it's A or B, this formula works as long as you type in that this time we're doing the square root of the biggest side, which is 37 squared, and we're taking away this time. So that's the difference in using this Pythagoras formula. We're going to take away the 15 squared from this to get our answer. And again, I haven't got the complete decimal answer, so I'll go control enter, and our answer of 33.8 centimetres would be fine for that question. All right, I'm going to show you how to do an unknown side length off an example from slide 3. And this time we're into our trigonometry, so we've got some different buttons we need to be familiar with. When we're looking at this, I'm trying to work out the angle that's in the top corner. I've got 55.4, and on the side of the triangle I've got a 3. And I'm trying to work out the length of P to R, or R to P. All right, so I'm trying to find that long side, which happens to be the hypotenuse. So the information we have from the angle is the adjacent side is 3, and we want to work out what the hypotenuse side is. So the trigonometry ratio you want to use is CAS. And the way that we type it into our calculator, though, is a divide. So you end up getting, I need to clear that. We'll go to a new page. We're doing trigonometry now, so we need the trig button. But first I'm going to do 3. So it's going to be 3 divided by, we'll press our trig button, we choose CAS for this example. We've got 55.4 degrees, which goes into the bracket, and then we press enter. So the reason why we do divide with this one is that the number we're trying to find out is the bottom number of that ratio. So the top number is the A number, the adjacent, and the bottom number is the hypotenuse. We're trying to find the hypotenuse. So the way that it works in your calculator is you do 3 divided by CAS 55. Now we get 5.28 as the length of our hypotenuse. You could round that to 5.3 centimetres for your answer. The next example I'm going to show you how to do is when we're actually finding out an angle. All right, so we need to use a different trig function for this. And the example I'm looking at is the triangle that's got 22 on the side and 49.5 on the bottom. And we're going to have a go at working out the unknown angle, the B one. It's listed as angle ABC, so it's at the top of the triangle. And from that, the 2 bits of information we have is the adjacent and the opposite. So the adjacent is right beside the angle, it's 22, and the opposite is 49.5. So our tan ratio, this time around, we're trying to find the angle. So we need to use this one with little to the power of -1 in it. That's the one that'll get our angle. Then we press our fraction button to set up our fraction. I'll probably do Control divide. So we've got our fraction there. Now the tan function ratio works by having opposite over adjacent. So the opposite side for this example is 49.5 and it's over 22. Press enter and we get 66.0375 degrees. Now, if you wanted to put this into degrees and minutes, which is a more accurate answer, we wouldn't have done this in Year 9, but you can use your CAS to do this. So if you press this little book down here, it's like a catalogue. It'll come up. Now I'm going to type in D because I want to find a function called DMS, which stands for degrees, minutes, and seconds. So keep scrolling down until I find DMS. There it is. We want to use that. And it'll say, do you want your answer to convert to degrees, minutes, and seconds? And it does there. So our answer now that we want is 66 degrees and 2 minutes. You could cut it off there and that would be your answer. All right, so that's how to get an unknown angle using trigonometry. All right, I'm going to stop the share there. Thanks.